we make our thoughts, and our thoughts make us. And if we want to have a better life, we need some better thinking. Hey, welcome to The Pursuit, where we help awaken your potential and achieve your dreams. My name is Patrick Kerwin, and today, kicking the whole series off with the power of thoughts. How our thoughts literally shape our human experiences and our reality, and how if we had a different thought, it could change our entire timeline and result in a very different life. Now, if you've been around the block at all, which I'm sure you have in personal development, you've heard this idea before. In fact, we go back over 2,000 years ago, Proverbs 23:7. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. But it doesn't stop there. You can even go back further to Confucius. The person who believes they can, the person who believes they can't, are both usually right. I mean, this isn't a new idea in human history. But we found more and more ways to constantly, throughout time, keep bringing it up in new ways and say, hey, look, everyone's just kind of pointing at this thing, this reality, this capital T truth, that what is happening inside here is affecting this and affecting our ability to deliver in the world. So if you have a desire to live your greatest potential, then not only welcome to the channel, welcome to this episode, but we're going to be doing some exercises today. They're going to help you uncover some areas you might be stuck and create some massive turnarounds that may change the whole game for you. Now, I happen to be a dad, so I watch a lot of kid shows. And one of the ones that I've watched is from a local PBS station here in the States, and the show is called Super Why. It's about a bunch of kids who like reading, hey, we're already on the right track, and who go into books looking for answers about some challenges they're facing in their life. And here's the most interesting thing. In each episode, there's always a character who has a story that's stopping them from achieving what they want to do. In fact, they call it out right in the episode with words directly below the character. He says, they point to it like, look, well, I can't. You see, it says so right here in my story. And it says, the character can't do the thing. And then the characters in this show help rearrange some words and change some words out. So now their sentence says, I can do the thing. And that's what almost every episode is about. Now, when it comes to changing our own life, wouldn't it be so easy if all the words that we're thinking just happen to flow below us? We could just look at them and go, oh, look, there's my thought. Well, if I just change this one around and move it, boom, and then life changes, right? Well, it isn't that easy, and it is that easy. Let's go to the board and I'll show you what I mean. First, I want you to think an action that you're not taking. So, for example, if the action, let's say it's, you want to do is exercise more, right? Patrick, I wish I could exercise more. I wish I would see myself get up early, go to the gym, etc. like that. I'll give you one of my thoughts that stopped me for years and years and years in regards to this. So here was the A, I put A for action, and here was the thought, let's put TH for thought, that was holding me back. And it went something like this. I'm not a morning, see where I'm going with this? I'm not a morning, that's the worst morning ever. Let me try that again. Morning, there we go, person. That was the thought in my head. I'm not a morning person. So as part of my very identity, well, if I'm not a morning person, then I don't get up early. And if I don't get up early, guess what I also don't do? Go to the gym early. Now, if I want to change this entire equation, if I want to see myself rise and shine, if I want to see myself become this person that I'm proud of, then I want to get a new behavior. How do we get this new behavior? What has to happen? Well, very much like that children's story I talked about, the first thing we have to do is we have to see our thoughts. It's very hard to work with something that's intangible. Would you agree? Yeah, of course you would. So the step one, if you want to change this around, is we need to identify the thought. So in this case, what you want you to do, if you're willing to do this right now, whether it's on your smartphone or on a piece of paper, I want you to write out the thought. Now, once I've written it down, here's part two. Okay, now you might say, Patrick, I got 50 thoughts. Let's just work with one at a time, okay? If I'm going to say I'm not a morning person, I want to give you a little bit of an exercise to help directly challenge these thoughts. Now, some of these things I've learned from my years in psychology with cognitive behavior therapy, but this is kind of an extension of that. But I want to give you a simple technique, and here's what it is. Yes, and. Yes, and. So the first thing is we don't want to deny the truth that we have had so far. It's not like we're going to create a war, right? Because you can acknowledge the thought. We're going to say, yes. Based on my behaviors, based on what I've seen, it would stand to reason that, yeah, I don't really behave like a morning person. So, yes, that does seem to be true so far. Here's the magic. And here's the and. What else is true? What else is true about you? You might write something else down like, I'm resilient. Yeah. What else is true about you? I have goals. Great. What else? I want to see myself do this. Okay. See, you start opening the door. You might just have a whole journaling thing that happens here. Just be ready for it. The point of it is you get to the point where you say, yes, this thought has some merit to it. I'm going to acknowledge it, right? Yeah. But here's what's also true. I also have the ability to change. That's also true. I also have the capacity to find new ways to motivate myself. That's also true. But here's what happens. You look at the sentence and you change some words around, just like the example I told you earlier. I am not. See, the problem with the word I am is usually whatever follows I am follows you. So if I'm willing to say this, if I was to say, can be a morning person. Wow. Try that thought on for size. It's like trying on a pair of pants or an outfit or a skirt. Just try it on and look in the mirror and see how it fits. I can be a morning person. Do I believe that's true? Yeah, I could be whatever I want to be, you might say to yourself, right? So this is where it all begins. So we can go deep and deeper in this, but I just want to pause here and say this. Whatever it is you have on your heart for your life, for this year, for this month of living, I want you to think about how your thoughts are affecting your ability to take consistent action. And the exercise I'm presenting to you today is just very simple. Identify a thought, not thinking the thought. You've already been doing plenty of that, right? Okay. We want to write the thought out. And once you look at it and do the yes and exercise. First, yes, acknowledge to yourself that thing you wrote down might have some truth to it, based on history, based on examples. You know, I can't do it because this person's in my way. And you might say, well, yes, it's true. That person does seem to be a bit of an obstacle for me lately, or this challenge in front of me. But then I want you to do the next brave thing. And what else is true about you, about what's possible, about what can be? Well, maybe you might redo your sentence and say, I can be a morning person. Try that out and say, okay, and then the next thing after that, after you've done your sequence is, I want you to write 2 things down. This is the kind of conclusion. I want you to write 2 things down that you can do to help turn that around. I'm going to tell you the 2 things I did to go from a night owl, essentially, to a morning person. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you 2 things. Here's 1, here's 2. Set out my gym clothes. There. And shoes. I took the activation energy out of it. I put my clothes out the night before to kind of help myself in the morning, to kind of break through those excuses of the energy it would take to get the job done. Then I set 2 alarms. Eventually, that stopped working. So then I did a third thing creatively is I realized that I'm a person who's up like a plant with the sun. So knowing this about myself, I turned on a timer to turn on a light that was like a full spectrum light. Not glaring in my face, but boy, it made a huge difference. And these are the things I'm talking about. So let's go back to the beginning. Thoughts have power to affect our lives, and they affect your life, they affect mine. But the larger question is whether you're looking at ancient history or modern children's videos on PBS, the truth is the truth of the power of thoughts affecting our lives. What are you going to do to push back on that thought? What are you going to do to rewrite that story so that new doors open up for you in your life? Hey, I hope you took something out of today. If you did, one of the greatest ways to say thank you is to hit that like button, and we'd love for you to join us and hit the subscribe button. But until we see you next, my friend, may the fire within lead to happiest heights, and the road you travel be lined with lights. We'll see you next time.